Hey everybody, welcome to Witness Wednesday. For those of you who might not have been able to meet me just yet, my name is Father Matt Dunn. I'm happy to be here at St. John. This is my first week and third day on the job. Brady has already gotten me to do a Witness Wednesday. So what I'd like to do is share with you a story which happened not too long ago, just 4 years ago in 2016. It was my senior year of college seminary at St. Ben's in Covington. And my family was going through a very difficult time. We were experiencing a certain hardship that tried to, what felt like, to pull us apart and divide us. And I was at the seminary through it all. I very much wanted to be at home with my family, to embrace them, to talk with them, to laugh with them, to be with them through it all. But I couldn't because I had my commitments to priestly formation and to my studies and discernment at the seminary. And it got to the point where I got angry and I felt very betrayed, not by my family or by anyone else, but God himself. I felt isolated because whereas I wanted to go and be with my family, which would have been a very good thing, I was simply told that, no, your discernment is more important here. Your formation is what's most important. God will provide, but it didn't feel like God was providing anything. In fact, it felt like God was telling me to distance myself from an already bad situation, even though I wanted to go and be with my family through it all. And so later that year, in the summer of 2016, shortly after I had deeply, deeply considered leaving the seminary to be with my family, I was sent to Omaha, Nebraska for a 9-week program, which is called the Institute of Priestly Formation, which we know as IPF. And part of IPF is an 8-day silent retreat, which is based on the spiritual exercises of St. Ignatius of Loyola. And during those 8 days of silence, I was still angry. I wondered why I was sent to Omaha, 1,000 miles away from my family, when we were in the middle of this intense struggle where it felt like we were still trying to be pulled apart and separated. And I literally was separated almost as much as I possibly could have been. And I was mad. And I felt alone and isolated. I was afraid. I felt like I was abandoned and that no one was there for me and I wasn't there for anyone else. And it was a dark time in my life. It was a dark time in my discernment. And I struggled with that. And even when I would go to the chapel for prayer time, just to scream at God and tell him how horrible he was and how isolated I had felt and how abandoned and betrayed I felt by him, that was still an intense prayer, and it was honest. And when we enter into honest prayer like that, the Lord hears it, and he rejoices that we're there, because we could easily turn the other way and abandon him and betray him and isolate him. But even if it's to go and scream at him, prayer is prayer. Honest prayer is the best type of prayer. And in those 8 days of silence on that retreat, what I had to face was a lot of my past sin, a lot of my current sin, a lot of the brokenness within myself that I didn't want to face before. And ultimately, at the end of it, through the struggle and through my spiritual direction and fighting all of that, I got to the point where I brought it all to the Lord. And I said, okay, I've yelled enough, I've been angry enough, now help me here. Give me some kind of grace, give me some kind of strength, give me some kind of inkling of an idea that I'm not alone and betrayed like I feel like I am and have been for so long. Because Lord, for the past 4 years of my life, I've given myself to you. I want to give my life to the church and be a priest for your church, but you've left me, you've abandoned me. And I feel that. And in the end of the retreat, when I came out on the other side, I heard him say the whole time, I've never left you. I never left you. I have called you by name to be here in this place at this time for this specific reason. And now I know you more deeply because you've revealed yourself to me and you've opened your heart to me, which is what I've asked you to do for so long. I knew the Lord deeper and more intensely because he revealed himself to me. I was more open to it. He was always willing. He had never abandoned me. He had never walked away, but I wasn't willing to receive it. And so after these 8 days of silence, of silent prayer, not talking to anybody else, basically isolating myself with the Lord himself, I saw that I wasn't betrayed. I saw that I wasn't isolated. I saw that I was not abandoned like I had felt like I was. And thanks be to God, at the end of all of this, our family was brought closer together. The Lord was in the middle of all of the struggle and all of the pain and all of the division through it all, and it strengthened us. If there's one thing you take away from this witness, please let it be that you are not alone. You are not isolated. You are not betrayed or abandoned. The Lord is there in your brokenness and in your struggle, in your pain, and he sits beside you. He cries with you. He mourns with you. He's angry with you because of other people's sins that you feel affects your life. You are never alone. Just like Simon Peter this past Sunday, you just have to reach up and say, Lord, save me. And his hand is already extended, and immediately he grabs onto you and pulls you out of the waves, out of the water. You are not alone. You are deeply, deeply loved by the one who created you and knows you even more than you could ever know yourself. You are loved. You are not alone. Cut.